Good morning, students. This is our present video of lesson 2, Feather Friend. So, a space station is a spacecraft capable of supporting crew members and designed to remain in space for extended period of time and for other spacecraft to dock. In introduction paragraph, we can understand that a space station is capable to support the crew members of spacecraft, means it gives proper facilities to crew member as it is designed to remain in space for a particular period of time and other spacecraft to support unloaded. The International Space Station is the only operational manned space station currently in orbit. And remember that the International Space Station is man-made space station in the current orbit. It means it is made by man. Space stations are used to study the effects of long-term space flights on the human body. They used to study about the effects of long-term flight in the space on human body, means how it affects on the human body. They also serve as a platform for extended scientific study. This means they are good platform for scientific study. Each crew member stays aboard the station for weeks or months, but rarely more than a year. A crew member can stay on space station for weeks, months, but not more than a year. So space stations have been used for both military and civilian purposes. So this is all about the space station, as I hope you have understand what is actually a space station. Student, this lesson is written by Sir Arthur Charles Clarke, who was a British science fiction writer. In this chapter, his main subject is the absence of gravity on space. Through a bird, he narrated his subject well. So, the narrator is surprised to discover a canary in the space station. So in this chapter, actually Sven Olsen, there we have a character Sven Olsen and narrator. Sven Olsen is the friend of narrator and a bird. Canary is actually a bird. So to the best of my knowledge, there's never been a rule that forbids one to keep pets in a space station. As narrator is on a space in this lesson, so according to him, there has never a rule that not allowed someone to keep pets in space station. He wants to tell that one can take bird to space stations, and even had a such rule existed. And if there is any rule which has not allowed a bird on the space station, I am quite certain that Sven Olsen would have ignored it. Or if this rule is existed according to him, then Sven Olsen had ignored it according to him. It means he had taken a bird on the spacecraft. But I must admit that his selection was very sensible according to him. According to the narrator, his choice was appreciable in this line because it was sensible. Claribel was the name of bird, type of bird, weighted particular nothing. Her food requirements were minimal and she was not worried as most animals would have been by the absence of gravity, because Claribel is a bird which had less weight, her food requirements were minimum, and she doesn't bother about the absence of gravity as she has less weight. I first became aware that Claribel was aboard the space station when I was sitting in my office, checking through my list to decide what items we would be running out of next. First time the narrator aware that the Claribel was on the spacecraft when he was in his office and checking the list of what items they need next on the space station. When I heard the musical whistle beside my ear, I assumed that it had come over the station intercom. Then I heard a musical. According to the narrator, he heard a musical whistle beside him. He thought that it was coming from the intercom station for any announcement and waited for announcement to follow it. It didn't, but there was no announcement. There was a long and involved pattern of melody that made me look up with such a start. But and there was long melody of music that made him to find about his curiosity. It was then that I had my first view of Claribel. Then he found that there was a Claribel, the bird on that spacecraft. This is enough for today. Thank you, students.